Good morning. This is Judge Alyssa Perez presiding over the 210th District Court criminal docket for January 12th, 2023. All matters being heard today are being heard in accordance with all emergency orders and directives regarding COVID-19. In addition to that, we are streaming all matters live via YouTube for public viewing. Mr. Marufo, would you call our next case, please?
Page 11, second on page 11, Judge. In cause number 2018-0D03352, State of Texas versus Alberto Duron Caballero. Announcement of council, please.
Eliana Elizalde for the state. State is ready.
Good morning, Your Honor. Joshua Spence on behalf of Mr. Duron.
Good morning, Your Honor. Marisa Martinez from Adult Probation. Mr. Duron is here with me.
Good morning. I feel like this was a reset, maybe not. And give me a second. Ms. Martinez, can you give me an update on Mr. Duron? While I pull up the report, I'm looking at it, but I'm still getting used to the new format of the report. So
Yes, I understand. Me too, Your Honor. Yes, it was a reset. We were supposed to have a hearing last month, but Mr. Duron, he was at the hospital, so that's why he couldn't be present last month. And now he's here with me. He's doing a little bit better. He's been compliant. He makes his payments to the probation department every month. He's a little bit behind. And he was just talking to me about his community service hours. He's pending 80 hours. So due to his condition, he hasn't been able to complete those hours. I believe he, as per medical requirements, he's going to obtain the little device for the sleep apnea. So he has been a little bit sick, but he has been compliant with probation, reporting to me every month and completing his payments. He completed his classes, and well, he's here with me today, Your Honor.
I do remember at least some things on Mr. Duron, which included some of the health complications. My problem, or let me ask, my question, I'm not gonna say my problem, is had I already decided that he needed to go to DWI court because of previous inconsistencies in compliance?
There was a hearing last year in regards to this requirement, but Mr. Duron, he refuses to enter the program due to his medical condition.
Well, who's saying that? Is that his decision, or is that DWI court telling us that?
According to what I have in my notes, Your Honor, if the client says no, then we cannot submit the screening because—
Did I order that he be screened for that?
I'm sorry, Your Honor?
Did I order that he be screened for that?
I believe that happened in the past, back in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
It was not under my supervision at the time, Your Honor.
Yeah, see, well, is this one for which we're supposed to be using the interpreter?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, well, let's get the interpreter going. How are we going to do that since you're both sitting there, Ms. Martinez? Is there another device near you? And are you all okay to be sitting so close together? Is everything okay?
Yes, he just had he has his condition on his lungs, and he has his oxygen here with me, but it's okay.
Okay, so I don't know that we'll be able to, unless we do it consecutively, utilize the interpreter. Mr. Spencer, here's my issue. I ordered he go to DWI court back in 2021, and he continues now to have, I at least see one violation, or maybe these were in 2021 as well, early 2022.
Yes, that is in the past. No violations have been reported since then.
Yeah, but see, there has to be a sanction for just disregarding the court's order.
Incoming call to 6625 from 4709, phone number 4709.
Talk to me, Mr. Spencer.
Well, Judge, I would, I mean, the drug court, the DWI drug court program is an intensive program. And my only fear and I think part of it also is the criteria, right? When they do the assessment where they have to say like, well, we want, do you agree to participate? Even though the court order screens, you tell them, okay, he has to go. And then they get there, they say, okay, well, you agree you're going to be here, right? And he says, well, no, I don't agree to be here. He doesn't want to be there. It's too intensive for him. So it's kind of like a catch-22, you know what I mean? It's one of those things where he
Let me, Mr. Spencer, I hear you. Let me stop real quick. Ms. Martinez, or maybe Carla, you can tell me this. And for now, does anybody else need the interpreter?
I don't believe not, Judge.
Okay, Ms. Garza, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. I'll deal with Mr. Spencer, and then between Ms. Martinez and Mr. Spencer, we can communicate some info to him. Thank you for being here. Thank you. So, let me go back. I know what my question was. Did probation ever notify me back then that he was refusing to go to DWI court?
I believe they did, Your Honor. Let me see the notes from back then.
I'm seeing on 2/25/21, a status hearing was held, and as per court orders, Mr. Duron was to participate in DWI court. Upon review of the case, CSO noticed that modifications were not submitted to the court. CSO intended to screen Mr. Duron for DWI court again in order to submit modifications, but Mr. Duron is not willing to participate.
Yes.
So when,
like I was mentioning, Your Honor, in order to proceed with the screening and for the program to take Mr. Duron, he had to accept. So that's why it hasn't been possible to get him into the program at this.
my question is this, did you come back to me and say, Judge, Mr. Duron is refusing to participate in DWI?
What was the question? I'm so sorry, Your Honor.
Did probation come back, report to me that Mr. Duron was refusing to go to DWI court?
I don't think that happened, Your Honor. That's just mentioned on the case summary, but I don't think there was ever an email, an official email to your office.
So this is, just another instance where, probation is dropping the ball. I had this happen in another DWI case where an individual had a year's worth of significant violations on probation, and lo and behold, he termed. I received notice very last minute from probation, and he termed on a DWI, I think it was a 4th. And now it's not that I think Mr. Duron is, the worst candidate, but there was a reason I ordered he go to DWI court. And so because probation doesn't get back to me and tell me that we're having difficulties with him, he just goes on for another, when was that? That was in 2022.
It was about a year ago, Judge.
Yeah. Who was supervising this case when he refused to?
It was probation officer Bruce. He's not here in this office anymore, Your Honor. I'm looking at the notes.
Marissa, have we run him for traffic tickets? Is he driving?
No, Your Honor, he's not driving.
Your Honor, if I may, Marissa's not here today,
Oh, okay. Sorry.
but
I forgot. She's got her projects going.
I did talk to her briefly yesterday afternoon because she was trying to assist with the traffic. She did let me know, Judge, that on Mr. Duron, unfortunately, she couldn't confirm anything if there's any outstanding tickets or anything at this time due to she didn't have an actual driver's license number, and that was kind of a conflict. I just wanted to let you know.
I did find the probation report that I guess, starts all this review. And when I looked at those reports, I ran them and I don't have a notation. So I'm going to assume at least as of December. When does he term?
I'm so sorry, Your Honor, I couldn't hear the question.
When does he term?
He is ending on March 11th, 2024.
Okay.
Next year.
So Mr. Spencer, he either goes to DWI court and agrees to go to DWI court for the remainder of his probation, or he's going to do a jail commitment.
Just the DWI court, that's what Judge Anchondo, is that Judge Anchondo's program?
Mhm.
Okay, I will, I'll talk with him and, we'll
We'll
make sure
come
he gets
back.
through.
We'll come back in 2 weeks.
Okay,
We'll come back in 2 weeks. I don't have a problem if at some point, maybe with if he is inclined to change his mind, to conference it with Judge Anchondo and his team, maybe to tailor this a little bit more. I know sometimes when they go to DWI court, that treatment can extend, right? Can extend for a while depending on how well they do things like that. But happy to conference it with the team, just so we make sure that we're all on the same page. I'm not really looking for it to be something where all of a sudden his probation goes on and on and on because he has trouble there, but maybe they can tailor a program that is more appropriate for him in
Yes.
the remaining probation that he has, okay?
yes, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll come back in 2 weeks.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Spencer. And
Thank
again,
you.
I'll rely on you all to communicate with him.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you, Judge.
Okay, who's next?
Thank you.
On page one, top of page one, Judge,
Uh-huh.
in cause number 2020-0D01557 and 2021-0D01294, State of Texas versus Jose Manuel Flores. Announcement of council, please.
Eliana Elizalde for the state. State is ready.
Matthew Pospisil for the defense. I'm present, ready, Your Honor.
Okay, I didn't know if you were still on this one, Mr. Pospisil. I do see your client is appearing remotely as well. I feel like, let's see, Carla, are you on this one? I feel like this was just because I saw some preset probation reviews. And so I feel like maybe we just set it for that reason, or was it requested by probation?
Your Honor, we didn't request it, Your Honor. He did, I believe on the 13th of December, 2022, he did plead on the DWI third or more. According to the report received from the probation officer, there are no current issues to report, nothing with his device. The only thing is, Judge, that probation
Travel?
is asking for him to be allowed to travel for work.
What do you do, Mr. Flores? If you'll unmute, please. Are you there, Mr. Flores? What do you do? I think we lost him. Do you know, Mr. Pospisil?
I'm not entirely sure of exactly what his occupation is, Your Honor. I do know it requires him to do some traveling out of town.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe he does work on site. I do believe it's 7 days on. I think it's 4 days off.
Mr. Flores, what do you do? It looks like you're reconnected. Mr. Flores?
I can't hear.
Okay. Well, I don't have a problem with him traveling for work purposes, Mr. Pospisil, as long as he provides his employment schedule to probation ahead of time.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think we're set for a subsequent review. So we will review at the next setting. And I think that's the only thing. The recommendation here is, yeah, just to allow him to be modified to travel, and otherwise he's doing well. So we'll keep an eye on him just for a little bit and then should be good to go if he's good to go. Okay, Will you communicate that to your client, please?
Yes, I'll give him a call right now, Judge. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you,
But then
Carla.
we'll submit the modifications in a bit. Thank you.
Okay,
Oh,
who's next?
Back to page 11, Judge, middle of page 11.
Mhm.
In cause number 2020 0D06119 and 2021 0D00743, State of Texas versus Kayla Mendiola. Announcement of council, please.
Eliana Elizalde for the state. State is ready.
Good morning, Judge. Jesus Elias on behalf of Ms. Mendiola.
Good morning, Miss Mendiola is connecting to audio, so let's give her a second. I'll look at the probation report. She got
Last
10
time-
days,
Yeah,
10 days probation. Do we have new cases, Miss Elizalde?
No, Your Honor, I don't see any new cases.
Okay. She failed to report for November and December, and there's an active bench warrant?
Yes, Your Honor.
She's still connecting. Do we have a motion to adjudicate, Miss Elizalde?
At this time, we don't, Your Honor, because I was reviewing the report and it says that they wanted us to file a motion, but then the recommendation from the department was to continue on probation. So I wanted to know what the court's position was, because if all that's going to happen is modification, I usually don't file a motion for that.
Judge, if I may, the last time we were here on the 1st of November of last year, you ordered her to do 10 days
Mhm.
as a condition. As far as I know, she did that. And I don't know, that was part of her missing one of her appointments, but
Let me see if I can find her jailing. Give me a second.
looks like she's still having trouble connecting to audio.
On video.
And
There's the warrant. Let's see. Am I crazy? Did she do her days?
I couldn't figure that out if she
I
had.
don't see a
showed up.
jailing for her.
that may be the cost of it.
Okay, so tell her to turn herself in. The jailing's not there, Mr. Olivas. Get the violation notice, Ms. Elizalde, and file your motion.
Will do, Your Honor.
I'll note, Mr. Olivas, remind me if I forget that someone with her name has been trying to connect to this hearing. Let me ask Marufo, did she check in with you this week?
No, Judge, she did not.
Okay. Mr. Olivas, is this one you had trouble communicating with before also?
I'd rather not say.
Well, you told me before if you did. Oh, okay. I know, pues.
You know how it is.
I know.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, she needs to turn herself in. That's all.
Thank you, Judge. And well, I
Thank
guess
you.
she'll do her 10 days once she turns herself in,
Yeah,
at least. Okay.
at least. Dale, pues, who's next?
Thank you.
Mr.
Bye-bye.
Olivas. Bye-bye. Gloria Natividad, is that next?
Top of page 12, Judge, I got Mr. Quesada here.
Okay,
In cause number 2022 0D00481, State of Texas versus Sergio Quesada. Announcement of council, please.
Eliana Elizalde for the state. State is ready.
Rick Huffman on behalf of Mr. Quesada, we are ready.
and is that your client, Mr. Quesada?
Yes, it is.
Okay, Mr. Quesada is appearing remotely as well. We were scheduled for a motion to recall capias or warrant. Mr. Huffman, you may proceed.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. Judge, we're hoping the court could reconsider the capias. The capias, I believe, was issued in mid-December for some PR bond issues. And the reason, Judge, first, my client is indigent. He's 18 years old. He has a 6-month-old daughter. He's not a flight risk, Judge. He's born and raised in El Paso. His whole family lives here. He works, Judge. He works at Iglesias Plasting. It's a smaller construction company, but he does framing, cement, wiring, a bunch of stuff. He currently lives with his mom and his dad and his wife, who is the complaining witness, and their 6-month-old daughter. And there definitely were some communication issues, Judge, but I think it's because Mr. Quesada didn't have a telephone. When I did try to contact him with the number that we had for him, his sister had answered, but his sister wasn't living with him. Mr. Quesada does have a phone now, and he has been, we've had no issues communicating. I don't know what the kind of the miscommunication was on PR bond. I don't think it was explained well enough. Mr. Quesada actually understood that he also had a report. He also had a report to the PR bond office. I'm confident, Judge, that there will not be any more issues with PR bond or with he and I communicating going forward, and we're just hoping that the court considers recalling the capias and basically reinstating the bond.
Let me stop you for a second so I can give Mr. Marufo the heads up. Mr. Marufo, I need you to go back and look at the check-in records for Mr. Quesada. There was a hearing on August 30th where I ordered that he appear in person. On October 18th, he was required to appear via Zoom. And I believe on December 13th, but if I go back and I look at the affidavit from PR bond, I don't know if that at that point I had already issued a capias. So for sure for August 30th and October 18th.
Yes,
On
Judge.
those dates, Mr. Huffman, was your office in contact with him?
Judge, I'd have to go back and look at my notes. There definitely were issues communicating. And we do admit that, and I've talked to Mr. Quesada about that. He's had a couple different lawyers as well.
It's always been the public defender, right?
I'm sorry, Your Honor?
It's always been the public defender, right?
It has, but he's changed numbers a couple times. I don't have a great explanation why there were so many issues, but I think, Judge, we've got it sorted out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping, and I'm hoping the court gives us a chance to prove that.
Okay, Miss Elizalde?
Judge, at this point, I think I defer to the court. We have a recommendation up there. He doesn't have anything else pending. Yes, at this point, we'll defer to the court.
Are you opposed to putting him back on a straight PR bond?
No, Your Honor, I'm not opposed.
How many cases do we have on Mr. Quesada? I'm looking in terms of considering withdrawal and then setting a bond. I see some entries here on the PSR. So I have an August 2022 assault family violence, but I'm also seeing a January 2022 assault family violence. Both are impeding. Are those the same offense or are they separate offenses?
They're separate offenses. We have two cause numbers, Judge.
And Judge, I think that August one is a 2021 case. So there hasn't been any new case.
I see what you're saying.
Since January, last January.
So let me ask Ms. Elizalde, what are the dates of offense of these? They're separate AFV impedings, right?
They are separate. The date of offense for the one ending in 0358 is January 26, 2022. And then the one ending in 0481, it has a date of offense of September 1st, 2021.
And we only have him, okay. So where is his other fee here? And what is the bond there? Why didn't we wrap him up? Okay, 2022-0358. Was that just a straight cash surety bond? No, there's a warrant there too. Right.
I thought there was only a warrant on,
Oh, well, maybe. No, you're right. No, I just see the W and it's not, so we didn't catch him on the 0358.
I don't think he was on, I think he's only been on PR bond since, I want to say August of 2022.
He's on cash surety on the 0358 is what I think I'm seeing here. He posted it, but I don't know if we had him set at the same time because he wasn't appearing to court, so we should have pulled that bond too. Yeah. So what's the reason? He didn't have a phone? Is that what it is?
He didn't, and he does have one now, Judge.
Mr. Marufo, what do you see on the check-ins? And now I guess we're gonna have some other dates. 8/16, maybe we can also go back to July 21st and June 2nd. Because the 0358 cause number also had those settings.
On the August 30, he was a no-show, Judge, and there was a warrant already listed. On the October 18th, he was a no-show. I wrote down here there had been no contact with Ms. Pages and himself.
Can we go back then to the other two, I guess on the other case, which are June 2nd and July 21st?
Okay, Judge.
Thank you. I'm just going to wait for that information, folks. Let's take a quick break.